Today, we will talk about are Filipinas ruined once they date a foreigner? Jay Cotto asks, are Filipinas ruined once they start dating foreigners? Most Filipinos in the city come from the provinces. Look what happened to the Filipina P and many like her. They openly say they will never date Filipino men. What are your thoughts on this? This depends on your definition of ruined. The truth and reality is, once a Filipina dates a Westerner, they automatically upgrade their lives, because the ones that would date a Westerner, specifically an older one, are the ones in need, in dire need financially, or else they would not look at you if you are a foreigner, if they have some class or value or money. And don't come on here telling me that you're Filipina of 30 years is college educated and comes from a well-off family. First of all, that happened 3 decades ago. Secondly, your one partner doesn't describe the majority of Filipinas. So by ruining, do you mean they don't want to go back to living a modest life? In that case, then yes. Once they get a taste of the good life and going to restaurants, even though they are not fancy to you or I, they are fancy to a Filipina. Even something as simple as Kenny Rogers, Jollibee, or, God forbid, TGIF. So these are called fancy restaurants and considered fancy for Filipinos because one meal is the price and the cost of their entire paycheck at times. 3,000 pesos for a steak, for example. Let's go on to what others have to say regarding this topic. Patrick says, of course, it's a big difference from small province to bigger city. And now have washing machine, real shower, or even bath and all other stuff as restaurants, Starbucks, big malls. So yes, money changes behavior. And foreigner have money, a lot more than Filipino men. So basic, they not want to go back again to simple life. Imagine a foreigner coming to the Philippines with his $3,000 to $4,000 monthly income from whatever, retired. Sure, he does not look like a younger Filipino handsome local boyfriend. But to these women, they no longer have to sit outside of convenience stores sharing a soda or eating peanuts from the side of the street for 10 pesos. Now they get to live a life they could only imagine. So what if they have to hold hands with an older man? That embarrassment is not worth them giving up that fancy lifestyle at your condo in Ayala. So keep that in mind. You are still considered the prize, despite what people will have you believe. Of course, if they had the choice to pick their local men, Filipinos, but we are not comparing apples and apples. You, sir, are strawberry. You are a pineapple, something exotic to these women. Not because of your handsome looks, not because of your blue eyes, not because of your height or anything like that. No, sir, because of your money. And don't forget that. That's why it's important not to give it out easily. Make sure you set boundaries, have a limit, and don't spoil these women because they've never been spoiled before. Once they start dating a foreigner, they will never go back to their old way of life. Danny says, the P is an opinionated low info fraudster. The voice sounds like a chicken foot and blackboard. Better to talk to old timers than this thing whose job is to make stuff up and get paid. I'll not go around any. There are lots. A 15-minute respectable at best. Big thing is always dumb to say the province or city. It's the whole world. It's people. Find one that suits, do not be a fool. Gain wisdom that's antithetical to screech face. Aside from my opinions on the P, Danny, you need to learn how to write. It's ironic you calling someone dumb, but I can't even comprehend what you're writing. The point is, basically, gain your own knowledge by experiences. Do not listen to people trying to make money off of views online. Lindsay says, not ruined, just awakened. Some Filipino didn't change because of foreigners. They changed because they finally experienced being treated the way they always deserved. Deserved? What do you consider deserved? Depends. But yes, they've definitely changed. Jay says, most Filipinos in the city come from the province? That's not true at all. Do you think that the city does not have any births or something? As if Westernized, any person moving from country to another will have to shift in culture? Even when someone from the West moves to the Philippines, there will be some shift in their behavior. If you are referring to becoming a gold digger, chances are they were always like that to begin with. People are people. Precisely. They were always like that to begin with, but now you're giving them an opportunity. One more thing I'd like to say is that I find most comments on any post on Facebook, Reddit, or other social media platforms, it seems like the stupidest people are the ones always commenting. I understand. I don't speak perfectly. I don't have proper grammar at all times. But if you're trying to make a point, the least you can do is at least reread or at least double check or minimize some errors. It's getting frustrating reading some of these comments. Aside from my personal view on that, let's get back to Filipinas being ruined by Western men. The truth is, once they date a Westerner, they will never date a Filipino again, because the ones that are dating you are the poor ones. They are the ones getting an upgrade on all facets of life. Something as simple as hot shower, or running water, or just pressured water is something that they never had in their lives, perhaps a luxury now. Why would they give that up? Have you ever noticed why they never want to leave the room? Aside from being embarrassed to be seen with you, it's also the comfort that your single studio, tiny shoebox room provides for them. To you, it's a temporary situation. For them, it's heaven. It's simple, yet they would rather sit there in your air-conditioned room eating delivered to them Jollibee and watching some nonsense with clown noises, chipmunk noises, and baby laughter in the background, while scrolling through their social media, making dances using your condominium as the background, filming everything, and then never showing you to anyone, because they all have local boyfriends, and lastly, and more importantly, they don't want you to be seen by the rest of the world, not only from embarrassment, but also from the fact that they have multiple men they're seeing, therefore they cannot be seen with you. So, do Western men actually ruin Filipinas? I would say not necessarily. All we are doing is highlighting their behavior to the rest of the world. We are showcasing what the true nature of a Filipina is, always looking to upgrade, always looking for more. There are some exceptions, of course. We are speaking generally, normally, the majority of the women that you meet that actually date in the Philippines are low-class women, and the reason why they are with you is simply because of our US to peso exchange rate. Right now, being close to 60, it's a lot. They'd have to work an entire week, for example, just to be able to eat at a restaurant that you would go typically to. Imagine a place like Starbucks charging them 200 pesos, meaning they'd have to spend half a day working at Jollibee just so they can order an iced coffee. These are the things you have to consider. It's important to note, when you're coming to the Philippines, you should never spoil these women over the amount necessary. A simple meal should be the most you offer them initially. What you do with them afterwards is up to you and your discretion, but initially, do not overspend at all, because they should prove themselves to you first before you spend an extra dime on them that you don't absolutely have to. Lately, I've started to simply not go outside. Not because I don't want to, but it's not even worth it. I simply get what I want from them, and if they're worth it after second or third time, then I will spend more time with you and dedicate more of my precious resource towards you. Best comment from yesterday's video is from Vincent. Remember guys, it's 24/7 scamming and lying and bribing, including holidays, even on Christmas. The worst comment is from Lee. You're full of shit. 11 years here. Mine apologized. What is not even her fault. Ignorant ass AI bot channel. Yes, because your one Filipino partner defines the entire country. All of us men are lying. How many stories must you hear before you start to believe? And you know what? You are the one full of shit. Just because your woman apologizes and is weak and inconsiderate of her own feelings doesn't mean the rest of them are as mature or emotionally grown as she is.